My uncle tricked my grandmother out of her savings, so I became the steward of his ruin. My grandmother, Nana Rose, was the heart of our family. She was kind, trusting, and fiercely independent, living comfortably on her pension and the small savings she'd accumulated over a lifetime. After my grandfather passed, she relied more on family, especially her younger brother, my Uncle David. He was charismatic, always full of get-rich-quick schemes, and constantly complaining about his financial woes. One day, David convinced Nana to invest her entire life savings, nearly $100,000, in his guaranteed, groundbreaking crypto venture. He promised her triple returns in months, a secure future for her and for the whole family. Nana, blinded by trust and David's smooth talk, pulled out every penny. 3 months later, David disappeared. He vanished from our lives, taking Nana's savings with him, leaving her financially ruined and utterly heartbroken. She lost her home, her independence, and a part of her spirit. My family was shattered, helpless. David was a ghost, and Nana lived out her remaining years in quiet despair. The betrayal was unforgivable. Not just the theft, but the desecration of trust, the calculated exploitation of an old woman's love. David thought he could simply vanish and enjoy his ill-gotten gains. I knew David's core motivation, a desperate craving for status and acceptance from the old money. Elite, he idolized. He wanted to be seen as a legitimate businessman, respected and successful, not the lifelong schemer he truly was. He longed for entry into exclusive clubs, high society events, and a reputation beyond reproach. My revenge would be a relentless, unshakable stewardship of his public image, ensuring that his desired status would forever be just out of reach. I wouldn't reveal his location. I would reveal his true nature wherever he tried to reemerge. I spent years tracking him. It was a painstaking process, but I leveraged online public records, social media deep dives, and even hired a discreet private investigator when I had saved enough money. I discovered he had indeed resurfaced several states away under a slightly altered name. He was attempting to reinvent himself, working his way into local business communities, charming new investors, and slowly infiltrating the very social circles he yearned for. My strategy was not to expose him with a single dramatic reveal, but to become a constant, unsettling presence in his aspirations, a persistent, quiet erosion of his carefully constructed new identity. Whenever David made a public move, a guest speaker slot at a business luncheon, a mention in a local society column, an application for a prestigious committee, I would spring into action. I never used my real name or directly accused him of that. Instead, I would send anonymous tips to event organizers, committee members, and local journalists. These tips would be phrased as concerns about due diligence. For example, for a business luncheon, I'd email the organizer, just a friendly note regarding your upcoming speaker, Mr. David Sum. He's a very charismatic individual. Perhaps worth a quick background check into his previous business ventures and family relationships, just to ensure he aligns with your organization's value. For a society column mention, I'd send a subtle email. Interesting piece on Mr. David something. His family in Old City would be so proud to see him making strides. Perhaps a follow-up interview focusing on his family origins. These seemingly innocuous messages, combined with hints of his previous name and vague allusions to unforeseen financial complications or strained family ties, were enough to sow seeds of doubt. They triggered background checks. They prompted quiet inquiries. They led people to wonder about the missing pieces in his carefully polished narrative. The effect was cumulative. David never landed the truly exclusive deals. He'd get close to joining a prestigious club, only for his application to mysteriously get lost or deferred. He'd be invited to major events, but find himself subtly sidelined, never fully integrated into the inner circle. People always had a vague sense that something was off about him, a whisper of unreliability, a feeling that his story didn't quite add up. He'd get frustrated, blaming rivals, bad luck, anything but the invisible hand subtly guiding his fate. His charming smile would occasionally falter, replaced by a flicker of paranoia in his eyes. He'd never know who was doing it or why, only that every time he reached for true, undisputed status, an unseen barrier would materialize. David still operates in his new city, perpetually on the cusp of the success he craves, but never fully attaining it. He still tries to network, to charm, but the whispers follow him like a shadow, ensuring he remains an outsider, a new money figure whose past always seems to cling to him. I, meanwhile, have honored Nana's memory by advocating for elder financial protection, volunteering my time to help others avoid similar exploitation. My work is quiet, impactful, and truly fulfilling. David thought he could take Nana's savings and buy himself a new life of respectability, but I became the silent steward of his public ruin, ensuring that the legacy of his betrayal would forever audit his aspirations, making his desired success a permanent, unreachable mirage.